Hey guys, Solar here, back again with another edition of Flashback Fridays, and what I have for you today is the Funko Disney Afternoon Darkwing Duck from Darkwing Duck, of course. Now before we get into the meat and taters of this review, since I no longer have the packaging for this figure, let us first take a look-see at his lone accessory, which could almost pass as a Mr. Freeze gun. I mean, am I right or am I right? Or maybe some kind of sonic gun, but it's a teched out blaster weapon nonetheless, and pretty good detail on there. It's got the scope, it's got these little ringlets here, and the funnel in there. And there's the trigger. If you wanted to, you could put this in his hand like so. He doesn't hold it all that well, if I'm being honest, but he can hold it. And before I get ahead of myself here, I'd like to say first and foremost, shout out to my good buddy Evil Villain for hooking me up with this figure. It is one I did not have originally from this line, so I will leave a link in the description below to his Instagram. Head on over there, give him a follow, let him know Overlord sent you. But with that being said, taking a closer look at Darkwing, voiced by one of the best voice actors of all time, of multiple generations, Jim Cummings, who also played Monterey Jack in Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, amongst many a Disney Afternoon character, and a Disney character in general. He's in a lot of the movies. This figure looks really good, man, and probably one of my favorites from this line that we've taken a look at so far. He's got his big hat here, which having the camera where it is, you ain't going to be able to see his face for a lot of this review, but at least you can see some of him, right? He's got his little Hamburglar mask under there. He's got the buttons. And he's got no pants, because of course not. I'm just going to go with the assumption that ducks in the Disney universe do not abide by any rules regarding pants. He does not have pants. That's hilarious. That said, as far as articulation on him goes, he's got a swivel in the head, no ball joint. I mean, it does feel like it could bobble a bit, but you're not really going to get much out of it due to the collar of his cape, I'm guessing. His shoulders can go out to the side like so. You can go back down. You can rotate forward and back. Single joint at the elbow. It's got a waist twist here, and the hips are on a bit of a V-cut there. And I will say the legs on this one in particular were a little stuck when I got them, so be mindful of that. But other than that, really awesome figure, man. Probably my favorite in this line next to the Rescue Rangers. I like Gizmo Duck too. He was super fun. The wheel leg thing made him a little bit more interesting than some of the other characters, but I'm going to stand here with his gun, which can be easier said than done, might I add. That's Darkwing in a nutshell, man. Looks like the show. Doesn't really sound or smell like the show, but it's a show, so those aren't major requirements, I don't think. But if you want a Darkwing Duck figure and you can't afford any of the vintage ones, which to my understanding are not cheap by any means, then I think this guy is a relatively decent price on the secondary market. He might be 20 bucks, whereas a lot of the ones I've looked at from this line are more close to the retail price of 15. So with that in mind, if you want a Darkwing, I highly suggest you pick this guy up before they give him a reboot and this figure winds up being pretty sought after. That said, there was also a variant of this guy, Negaduck. I said Negaduck, watch it, commenters, who was all gray and kind of Terminator looking. Basically a Bizarro, or like the Thor I looked at a couple of weeks ago, that Ragnarok figure. Kind of like that, but it's Darkwing Duck, so I would like to pick that up at some point, but it's not really priority. If anything, I would say my priorities with this line are Launchpad McQuack, who is also from the Darkwing Duck subline, and Gadget from Chippendale Rescue Rangers, which again, anyone got the hookup on those? Get your boy up over at Instagram, Overlord Productions. So with that being said, let's now move on and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is Darkwing Duck next to a couple other duck characters from the Funko Disney Afternoon line, Scrooge McDuck and Gizmo Duck from DuckTales. Woo! And the reason I bring these guys in here is because I do believe both DuckTales and Darkwing Duck exist within the same shared Disney Afternoon universe. Makes me curious if a Tailspin or a Chippendale Rescue Rangers is the same way. That said, we all know Gargoyles isn't a part of that. It's way too dark. And I'm not going to bust out the Super 7 Disney Ultimates for this review because we already know how these guys scale with those. They are not really that good a scale with those. I think these characters should be a lot bigger than the Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey Mouse, and, well, they're just not. And last, but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, with Spawn, as usual, towers over everyone, because while Darkwing Duck is cool, he sure as heck ain't no Batman. So with that being said, time to wrap things up, some final thoughts. Overall, and as I've said in all my reviews from this Funko Disney Afternoon line thus far, if you are looking for a Darkwing Duck action figure for either your Disney Afternoon collection or your Disney collection in general, then look no further, because I don't think there is a better possible option for Darkwing Duck for anyone's collection at this current time for a relatively reasonable price point. I do understand there is a more expensive Darkwing Duck figure coming out from another company, but again, it is more expensive, clocking in at around the $100 price point, where this guy is about 15 to 20 bucks on eBay. So if you're like me, want to save money, then definitely go with this one. You won't be disappointed, I assure you. That said, my only major gripe with this figure is he does have a tendency to drop his gun from time to time. He doesn't have the best grip on that thing, but at the end of the day, at least he does come with a gun. I'm talking to you, Warner Brothers. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this week's edition of Flashback Fridays, and if you are so inclined, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. While you're at it, don't forget to hit up my good buddy Evil Villain. I'll leave a link in the description below to his Instagram. Head on over there, give him a follow, let him know Overlord sent ya. While you're at it, don't forget to hit me up on Instagram if you haven't already, at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is, especially when cool homage toy lines like this end prematurely. I mean, we never got Gosselin or any of the other bad guys from this series from Funko, and I could just imagine what they would have looked like. Really sucks, man. Although I do think that Monterey Jack, Huey, Dewey, and Louie are the biggest offenders of not being made from this line. Am I right? Or am I right? So, with that being said, until next time, I'll catch you guys later.